The monthly schedule for June for Uma Musume Global has been released, and today we'll go over all of the new events and banners to keep you up to date with everything happening. This month we have some new Umas, including a free Uma, some notable support cards, some events, and thankfully only one CM announcement this month. So buckle up and get ready. Starting first on June the 4th, we get a new Uma banner featuring the Yada Yada creature Sweep Tosho, alongside the SSR Speed Taiki Shuttle and the SR Guts Ogre Cap support cards. Sweepy is an end closer for miles and mediums, and she can also kind of run longs too thanks to her gold recovery Go Home Specialist. Her other gold skill is yet unfortunately another debuff in Petrifying Gaze, the gold version of Intense Gaze for being an end closer. It is unfortunate that both of her golds aren't exactly mid-race velocity stuff, so for example if you want to run in a shorter race and you're not a monster that uses debuffers, then she effectively doesn't have any gold skill of use there. She does at least come with innate straightaway spurt though, so that's always nice. Although her other skills aren't really anything to write home about. Her unique is also a pulse-like skill, giving a velocity boost in the final 300 meters, but it does have a couple of annoying requirements, needing her to be towards the back on the final corner, but also she must not have been rushed in the race, which is a lot easier said than done. As for the Taiki Shuttle SSR Speed card, it gives a pretty nice skill in Mile Maven, or if you plan on running a frontrunner in miles, which is all things considered kind of specific, so it's not entirely worth trying to pull in this card here, as you can just borrow it when you are planning on running a front in a mile race. Not only is it distance specific, but it also has that sort of style specific requirement on top of that. It does have a lot of nice bonuses in terms of being a stat stick though, with +2 speed and +1 power and +1 SP at max limit break, although it does only have a 5% race bonus. But as we are nearing the end of Trackblazer actually, you shouldn't really start worrying too much about race bonuses anymore, and you can start keeping an eye out for these types of cards for future scenarios such as Grand Live. Also on the 4th though is the start of the Fuji Kiseki Showtime event, and the global server collectively let out a sigh at this reveal. If you don't remember, this is the event where you need to complete careers to earn points that let you get rewards from Fuji Kiseki's hat, with 5 different difficulty levels, each one harder than the last, but rewarding more points the higher difficulty you clear. And boy, those increased difficulty opponents do not mess around. Think of it like doing a gold trip mode run. As a recommendation, just know that you will probably have to be willing to sacrifice a few runs here and there to get all of the main rewards, and don't worry about making any aces or parents or even winning any of those races when you do these Fuji Kiseki runs. You'll do these runs purely for the rewards and nothing else. So get silly with them, I guess. Or maybe even do some URA runs to experience the story of some Umas that you haven't gotten through yet. Then on June the 7th, we will get a new set of legend races featuring Tamamo Cross and also Meisho Doto. June 11th will be the start of the Search Solve Summer event. Now don't let the name confuse you though, this is not the big summer event with Summer Gold Trip and McQueen, but instead it is technically the camping event with camping ults for Taiki Shuttle and Meiji Rodoba. Starting with Meiji Rodoba, she's got an oddly specific unique that not only requires her to be in the mid pack, but in the mid pack on a downhill, and also that downhill has to be before the late race as well. So the scenarios where this would trigger at a ideal time are quite limited. And also since it is Meiji Rodoba, it also means that if you would like to get Moving Past and Beyond from the OG Dober, you would have to try and get lucky from inheriting it from a sub-legacy. She has the gold late surger skill Dauntless, which is a bit of a gamble velocity and acceleration skill since it activates anywhere in the second half of the race, and her other gold is From the Brink, another gamble skill for mediums when she's towards the back late race. But I mean, as a late surger, gambling is the name of the game, right? So it's to be expected when it comes to their skills. And then for Taiki Shuttle, she's the same old mile monster that we've come to know, having the gold version of Head On for great late race acceleration and also Mile Maven for good mid-race velocity, on top of having both Pace Chaser and Mile Corner skills as innate whites. Almost every single skill in her kit is perfect for mile pace chasing. She also has a pretty funky growth rate with a big fat 30% growth in strength and strength alone, which means that when running wit and speed decks, it'll be easier to stack power without the need of actually running power cards. And as for Camping Taiki's unique skill, it is a pulse-like skill which gives her a boost in the last 200 meters of the race. And we all know how good Triumphant Pulse is, so this is kinda similar. For the support banners, the El Condor Pasa Guts card gives increased training effectiveness the more support cards there are on the same facility as her, although that is the only source of training effectiveness on that card. For being a Guts card, she also doesn't provide any speed and power bonuses, which is what you ideally want for in a Guts deck. And unless you are specifically running several Guts cards, relying on multiple cards stacking together for a training effectiveness isn't really that reliable. You could just take any other regular roaming card with decent training effectiveness and it'll do just as well. Which, speaking of, the gold skill she provides is Speed Star, which you can also get from Fine Motion, which is, like I said, another good roaming card that you can use in lieu of El Contrapasa. And the other banner support is the Matikana Tanhoisa Wit card, which gives an extra 5 energy when training Wit once you get her to max bond. But depending on your luck though, this might only happen very late in the run, or it could happen very early in the run, so this has the potential to be a quite high rolly card if you get very lucky early on. Although with an initial bond of 25 at a base level and 30 at a max limit break, you could try to go for a very big high roll with it. Not only would you in theory be getting a lot of early rainbows if you have her at max bond very early on, but you're also getting a lot of energy recovery on those turns, so you're spending less time later on resting and whatnot. Her gold skill is also It's On, a nice generic mid-race velocity while also having hints for Nimble Navigator. At the end of the day though, because of how the El Contrapasa card is as well, there's nothing really too standoutish on this summer banner here. As for the free event card though, that is going to be the Zeno Rob Roy Stamina card. Her gold skill is the Clairvoyance Vision skill though, which will help you see just how bad the card is. It's got a lot of medium skills though, as well as a mix of late and pace skills, and it only gets a 10% training effectiveness once you reach friendship training with the card at bond 80. But I mean, hey, it's a free card, so you can't really complain, but it is by no means a good stamina card. Even the McQueen stamina card that you get for free from the story is arguably just as good, if not better, if you're really in a pinch. Then on June 18th is the new Uma banner for Air Shakur, alongside a support banner with the new Air Groove SSR Power card and the Gold City SR Wit card. Air Shakur, much like Taiki Shuttle, also has a funky growth in a big 30% Wit stat growth. She is a backliner racer for medium and longer distances, and her unique is quite awkward because on top of the position requirement of needing to be 4th through 7th, she also needs to be near the inner rail towards the end of the race in order to get a speed boost. And as a backliner, you should know by now that they tend to like sidestepping over into Narnia for some unknown reason in certain cases, so the odds of getting this to activate is a little bit gambly. Her two golds are both velocity increases though, one for medium races and the other the gold version of end closer straightaways. Now if this were corners, that'd be cool, but since it is the gold straightaway skill, there's always the chance that this could activate right out of the gate, so unfortunately it's not the greatest, and with no other built-in acceleration for an end closer, I think I see now why she lost the derby by 7 centimeters. Of course though, if you do like Air Shakur, there's nothing stopping you from pulling her for an Oshi pick. As for the support banner, I mean, hey, the Air Groove and the Gold City cards are so pretty, I don't think you need to think anything else about that, right? That's all you need to know about them. But if you do need to know anything else about the cards, then for Air Groove, she gives bonus power and SP once you reach bond 80 for her unique effect. She also has a very high mood effect of 60% at maximum break, but with no training effectiveness though. She also has no race bonus, so obviously not a great card now for Track Blazer, but again, maybe later on for Grand Life, if you want to, you can use this card. She does provide a gold recovery for late surges though, which is quite nice. It is the Lion Weight skill, which is of course going to be nice for those medium and long distances. She also provides a few other useful late surge skills, like late surge straightaways and Fearless. Then on June 21st, the start of the Cancer Cup registration period will begin, with round 1 starting sometime later on around June 24th. Cancer Cup is another medium race, this time the Takarazuka Kinen during summer with cloudy weather on good conditions. So no more firm course menace from Narita Top Road. Also, most importantly, is that sometime around this point of the month, we will also be getting the 7th chapter of the Team Sirius main story. Alongside this story will be the Special Week Guts card, which we can buy out from the Club Point shop. And also, this is how we will get a free 3-star Uma in Commander Special Week. You'll be able to unlock this special week alt. I'm sorry, I got confused there. The special week alt by beating her in the main story of Chapter 7 using an Uma that has the Best in Japan gold skill from the Team Sirius group card. Commander Spare is a pace or late surger, mainly for mediums and longs, and specifically races held in Nakayama Racecourse, i.e. she really wants to run the Arimakinen. This is because she gets a velocity increase on the final corner during the late race if she activates a skill at that point in time, although the full effect is granted on Nakayama Racecourse. On top of this unique though, she also has both innate long straightaways and long corners as white skills, and she gets overwhelming pressure as a gold skill, which increases velocity when overtaking late race during a long. And she has the Best in Japan skill, which activates on the final corner of a long race. Once again, all of these long skills and the Nakayama focus, this is very Arimakinen encoded. She also has the generic corner adept skill, and if you make her a late surger, she also gets outer swell too, which triggers on the final corner. So in other words, plenty of corner skills to help her get that unique. At the end of the day though, it is a free 3-star Uma, so we can't really complain about a free spec. Since no exact date was given as to when this would come out though, it's anyone's guess. Although on the Japanese server, this did coincide with the next banner that we will talk about, which for us will be on the 25th. And that is the first rerun banner, which will feature rate ups for both Narita Bryan and Seiyon Sky. As for the support banner though, it will be the El Contrapasa Speed SR card and the highly contentious The Thrones Assemblage SSR group card. The reason why I say that The Thrones Assemblage is contentious is because this banner will come out during round 1 of CM15, Cancer Cup. And this card is very practical for that specific CM, since it is a medium race, and on top of it being a good stat stick, Throne also gives the gold version of medium corners. So basically you get a second Professor of Curvature on medium tracks. And if you're a frontrunner, it also provides rainy days as well as prudent positioning, 2 groundwork triggers for frontrunners on CM15. And that's just the skills, because it's a group card that you can go on up to 5 dates with during your career, which you will likely be doing for the gold skill anyway. And along the way, you will get 102 wit, 54 speed, 117 energy, and 2 different mood up events, as well as 60 skill points, just from the dates alone. Combine that with the other events such as the first training, the dating before New Year's, and having max bond at the end of the run, and that's another 84 wit, 42 speed, and 42 skill points. For the unique effect, it also gives plus 2 skill points once you reach bond 80. And it also has 10% race bonus, so of course it is nice to slot in during Track Blazer runs. A pretty good card. However, that's the thing. It's pretty good in Track Blazer right now, and as mentioned, we've only got a few more months left for this scenario. Now don't get me wrong, this card will be great for Track Blazer, and you can even still use it outside of Track Blazer as well. Especially if you want to come back to Track Blazer and do parent runs, this is a great card for that too, because of all the skill points. On top of also the rating padding to help you get SS, which of course does increase the quality of the sparks that you get for parents. But you have to ask yourself whether you'd be willing to spend the pulls on this card when there are arguably more important banners coming up, like say the Light Hello and Agnes Tachyon split banner once the next scenario Grand Live comes out. Or even the very next banner, which is scheduled to be the Maruzensky Speed card, which is an amazing card for frontrunners. So yes, the Thrones Assemblage is a very good card, nobody's arguing about that. But whether or not you should pull on it, it depends on what you want. Are you willing to whale to be able to spend on this and still have enough pulls for the other cards and also Umas that you want as well? If not, then you should be able to get perfectly fine by just simply borrowing it for when you have those medium races for that medium gold skill. You will survive without it, and also since it is releasing during round 1 of CM15, it's up to you to see how desperate you are on wanting to remake aces using this card just for that gold skill. Maybe you don't want to tire yourself out and stress about making last minute aces with the new card just to get the new gold skill, in which case you can probably just safely skip this card. And although even ignoring the gold skill part of the card, once this CM does pass, you could still use it as a good stat stick if you don't have anything else to use. But I think for most people though, you will get much more bang for your buck skipping this card and simply borrowing it when you really need it, and then saving those pulls instead for either your favorite Uma or other support cards like say the Summer Maruzensky or the Agnes Tachyon and Light Hello banner, as those cards will see much more usage and much more practical usage because, like I said, Throne is really good as a card now for Track Blazer, and then after that it becomes a good parent card. But let's be real, how many of you are actually going to be going back and making parents in Track Blazer once we finish this scenario? And then lastly, we are also going to get a new type of recurring event this month. Although again, no exact date has been given, but the Japanese name of the event is Mezase Saikyo Team, or the Aiming for the Strongest Team event. At the start of the event, you'll choose one of your own veteran Uma Musume to act as a team captain. The game will then fill out the rest of your team with temporary members, forming a team of 7. You will then challenge other teams in a series of races, and after winning, you'll be given the opportunity to recruit one of the Uma Musume from the opposing team and add them to your roster. As you continue playing and racing, your team will gradually grow stronger and stronger as you replace the weaker members with better recruits from winning races. Along the way, you'll also fill out a collection of different Uma Musume that you've recruited throughout the event, almost like a little Pokédex type of thing. Recruiting new characters and building up your team will increase your team rank, which unlocks additional rewards. One tip here, by the way, is to change your team captain frequently to fill out the roster in your little Uma Pokédex thing. The event has its own stamina system, so you don't need to worry about spending TP or RP to participate. Instead, you'll use an event-specific attempt that regenerates over time. The main rewards come from increasing your team rank and completing the daily missions patience, which is simply just participating in the races. But as you rank up though and earn more points and score, you'll earn various rewards such as carrots, scout tickets, as well as a gold and rainbow crystal shard. Otherwise though, that is everything coming out in the month of June. A lot of cool new things to look forward to, such as that new type of team event, the camping event, as well as Chapter 7 and the free Commander special week. What are you looking forward to the most this month? And are you planning on pulling on any of the banners? And most importantly, are you going to try and make some last minute aces when Cancer Cup arrives using the new Thrones Assemblage card? Personally, I myself am not really gonna worry about that. I don't want to stress about making last minute aces midway through CM, because I know that either way, if I do or I don't, I'm still gonna lose to some cracked up Christmas ogre that also used the new throne card anyway, so it's kind of pointless, at least to me. Otherwise though, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and until next time, bye bye!